Bentley, and he's turning 4 next month. And the major two things with him are aggression and anxiety. So with the aggression, it's really, it's only sometimes, you know, when we're taking him on a walk, we never know, you know, when he goes to sniff a dog, if he's going to end up kind of snapping and barking and getting really aggressive. When he does, it's usually with bigger dogs. Dogs that are his size or smaller, he's usually pretty good with. And then when it comes to the anxiety, that's almost the bigger concern. He, you know, when we leave for 5 minutes or 5 hours, when we get home, he loses his mind, he's crying, he jumps on us, and he rolls over, then he jumps on us, and he rolls over, and he's, you know, crying and excited. And if we leave treats or toys for him, he won't touch them while we're gone. They'll be in the same spot untouched, and as soon as we get home, then he'll eat them, then he'll tear that toy to shreds. So I get the sense that while we're gone, he's just sort of sad and lonely, and so I want him to just be happy and to play by. We have a backyard, he doesn't go out there on his own, so I want him to just be able to feel free to do that. But the anxiety also stretches to, so for instance, you know, when we got in the car all together, the whole family, me, my husband, my daughter, and him, he cries for a long time, and he should be happy, and I don't know, maybe it's happy cries, but it's very, you know, we want to be able to calm him down, I guess, is my point. I want to be able to say, Bentley, it's okay. Like, I don't want him to feel all wound up. And then we'd love to help. He begs at the dinner table, or at any table. The begging of food is quite annoying. And then, well, I made a list. Just want to make sure I touch on everything. Begging. Oh, and then the last thing, you know, would also be like when anybody comes to the door, people he knows, our nanny who comes every day, he barks like a crazy person. So I'd love to be able to control the barking. I don't mind that he barks, but I'd love to be able to, you know, tell him, Bentley, enough, or whatever the command is, but so that he doesn't just keep barking, you know, until he decides he's calm.
Okay.
So I guess those are the things.
Okay, perfect.
Okay. Sit. I always have him sit before you send him in the crate. Make sure that you're not restraining him. You don't have to. See, keep the leash loose. He does this all day long, every day here. So he sits in front of his crate, you open the door, see how he wants to go in, but he really has to wait. If he tries to go before you release him, just do a little tap and say no, and he'll wait. He knows what that means. And then open the door with your right hand, go, send him in. And he's a little bit slower here because I'm doing the video out in the yard where we've never had his crate before, and so he's, in his mind, he's probably saying, why am I going in a crate out in the yard? Because his crate is in the back bedroom. But you can see how he goes in. What happened when he went in? He goes in, he turns around, I gave him a couple of treats, which we do every time, so that he really loves to go in there, because in his mind, good stuff happens when he goes in the crate. I reach in, I take off his little training collar, he just took it up, hang it up on the door. It's the best way to do it. If you don't do it that way, it can get tangled up in itself, and it takes a while to untangle. Here, he's been sleeping in the crate every night and doing fine here. He is in a room with a few other dogs as well, so he's never alone, which I think you mentioned that he was crying way a long time ago when you put him in a crate. But here, maybe because he always has company, he's never alone in that back room, maybe why he's so easy here. Coming back to your house, it might be different, but if you stay strong and stick with the program, do all the things that we're doing here, feed him in his crate, give him treats every time he goes in there, he gets all these great bones to chew on, everything good happens in the crate. Dogs are naturally den animals, so it's easy to make them love their crate even if they formerly didn't like it, because they were introduced to it in not an ideal way. Over time, he's going to be as good at your house as he is here, so just keep doing it. You know, when he first comes back, it's just a little bit of a shock, and he may revert back in certain ways, but just stick with the program, everything that we taught you at the lessons at your house, and just what you see in the video, and it'll all even out. It might be a day, it might be a week, but if you stay patient, you'll have what I have here with him. When I'm going to take him out of the crate, and by the way, here, this routine happens all day long. So he's never in a crate for hours at a time. He's always going in and out of the house all day long, free time in the yard. And because you never want to keep a dog in the crate too long, because it's not good and healthy. So Other than sleeping overnight, he's out every hour, hour and a half for a good, half an hour or so in the yard. I reach in there, I attach the leash to the collar first, so I'm already hooked up to that. I reached in, you can see he knows to wait at this boundary. Good, I reached in there and gave him another treat. He may or may not do this when I'm not there anymore for you, so if he tries to come out, you say no, and give that door a little bounce. Say no, he knows what that means, he'll back off, and then make sure that you mark that behavior where he does the right thing. Always give attention to him when he's doing the right thing, what you want him to do, and then it's that kind of thing. No, gentle but firm. Just give it a bounce like that and say no, and that'll make him stop. If you do what I do here, you'll have what I have here. Good. Might take an adjustment of a little while, but you do what I'm doing, he'll start doing what you see in the video after a while with you. So he's waiting now, and this is just a little exercise that I would practice with him. Good. To really wait. See how he's waiting? To respect that boundary. Inside is his place where he's free to do whatever he wants. Lounge. You don't do training in there. Just lounge, eat, whatever. But you control the boundary. It's very powerful. If you control this boundary, you must be serious, and it really helps with other aspects of training. It helps with all the other things. If you're in control of him coming and going out of his den, you must be in charge. Therefore, maybe he should listen to you all the time in other situations. So see how he's waiting? Okay, he comes out. I always do it this way. I do a little circle because that left turn is so important wherever you are, whenever you're handling him. Always keep that door closed. The power of the crate is that you control the boundary. So always, it's closed when he's in, it's closed when he's out. And as you saw in the beginning of this little clip, he needs permission to actually go in. You open the door, he waits till you allow him in there, he goes in, he gets a treat, it's all good and positive. So this is the way we've been doing it the whole time he's been here. And if you keep that up, this is the crate that he's coming back to you with. It's perfect size for him. It's just gonna really help you with all the other training as well. Okay. Good. This is a gateway that we come in and out of every day when we go out on the street, and it's a very exciting gateway. I kind of had him sit kind of too close to it, so I open it slowly there. No. If he tries to pop up at some boundary, you say no and make sure that he really waits there. This is extra hard for him because we have the camera person right there who he loves. So, when we're doing this, usually there's nobody here, but he wanted to run to her. But it's good to show you this because you see, even in a difficult situation, just make sure that he sits and waits at that boundary. You come back to get him. He never races through after you. Okay, he walks through with you when you're on the outside. And this could be a front door, back door, gate, whatever. When you're on the outside, sit. Notice we're never repeating anything. He's a little bit nervous here. You have him sit and then go, and then you release him once you're out, past through that boundary. You do the front door exactly the same way. We're not going to do it on this video, but I've showed you at your house already. That's just like the front door. You have him sit, you open the door, you step out or in, depending on whether you're coming or going. He waits for you to come back because you're accentuating the fact that that's your boundary, not his. He never races through it or goes through it without you. And then he walks through with you calmly without pulling on the outside or the inside. You have him sit and you release him to go. So we're starting the walk, and we have a curb here. You're gonna have to back off a little bit, back up. Sit, we're gonna have him sit at the curb, and this is what I do at all the curbs. And we have somebody cleaning a yard in there, so we have water coming out there, but I'm having him sit on a dry area. So I always have him sit at every curb as well, because that's a pretty major boundary. I just practice the sit, stay where he waits. I walk around both ways. And then, okay, and we walk across the street in training mode. It's getting dark, so I hope you can see this. So we walk across, he's not pulling, he's walking next to me. On the other side of the street, I'm gonna have him sit, and then I'm going to release him, go. Release him to be free, and then we take our leisurely walk. Let's see if Bentley can handle us activities. Sit. We have been practicing here for a few days now. Of course, he really had an issue before because he couldn't stay in a sit stay even in my yard. So he's doing really well considering, you know, it took 3 weeks to do this, but we got all these carts going past and everything. Good boy. See how he's able to stay in a sit stay in the presence of these pretty extreme distractions. Go. I released him to be free. If you are going to practice this way around a lot of stuff going on, try to release him on a success. Don't try to make it too hard for him. Even if you get 10, 15 seconds like that, release him before he starts making a mistake, and you'll see that every time that you practice with him, he'll be a little bit better. If you're practicing this even in your own home or in your yard or whatever, and he keeps making mistakes, back off a little bit, kind of shoot for a shorter period of a sit stay or a down stay, whatever you're doing, and then work back up to what he was making a mistake at. So come, and call him to come to me. Good boy. And now I'm going to do a little, we'll see how he does with his little down. And so I did it that way with the foot, and you see how I did it at the same moment I said it, because I'm thinking that he probably won't be as good with you as he is with me. Usually the dogs aren't when they go home, because he is going to start thinking, oh, I'm back with them, and while you have some time to practice doing my move, it's all right. Good, you can just forget, we're not even here. He's got to get used to doing all the stuff with you, so I'm going to say no and just put him back. And this is really tough for him, but he's really actually doing very well. And so if you don't say the command and then he hesitates and then you force him down, because you get stuck in that pattern forever. So if you're having issues with the down, then just everything at once, down. All the dog knows is that he heard the command, he ended up there. That's why probably within just a couple of days you won't have to do this part anymore. You'll just be able to do what I do, which is say down, and he goes into a down, stay. And of course we're not saying stay, we don't say stay because down means to stay. And same with the sit, there's no stay in the sit. And this is just a basic down stay where he accepts you. Pardon me? Yeah, he's kind of a puppy. Good. We're filming this for the owners. So this is why Home Depot is great. And he pops up, no. He gets up before you release him. Everything's very gentle, but be firm. So I said no, and I gently but firmly eased him down. And he's doing so well, I'm going to reward him one last time. Good. And then I'm going to release him. This is the way you always release him out of a down stay. Okay, sit. Always release him from a calm sit stay. Go. The reason is that when you release a dog straight out of a down stay, they can be anticipatory, they're ready to spring up and run around and get all excited. And it's really the way you release him, especially for a dog like him that we want to calm down and have less anxiety and to kind of stabilize in that way. We really want to end the whole session, the sit or the down stay, in a calm way, and it's so much easier to release him calmly from a sit stay. So everything, you know, if he's on free time for a long time, you want to do training, come. Good. Sit, you call him to come to you, and then you start your training. Everything starts with a calm sit stay. You can walk or do whatever we're going to do, and then after you're finished, even out of a down stay, okay, sit. The training session ends with a calm sit stay. So it starts with a calm sit stay. You call him onto the clock, into work mode, and then when you're done, it ends with a calm sit stay. Make sure he doesn't touch your hand. He really waits. Go. And then you release him to be free. Just in time. I don't know if he could have stayed down with that thing lumbering past. But practicing now that he's at the level where he can handle this much activity, this much stress, practicing this way really helps him get a lot better in just his daily life, because even though it's not your house and not the usual things that happen in your house, it's still a lot of stuff that he has to kind of like ignore to be focused and do the commands, and it does help him be calmer in the presence of the things going on in your house with the kids and whatever else might be happening. So this kind of practicing is really good for him. Okay, let's go, bud. Sit. You know he loves his mat exercise, so make sure that you always have him sit first. You know, I'm thinking the light's not good, so I'm just going to move the mat a little bit closer just to make sure you can see everything. Okay, so come on, buddy. Sit in front of the mat, and then with your right hand, pat his chest and say, no, make sure he really waits. Go, and walk over with him and say, down. And then the goal of this exercise is that he stay in a down stay, no matter where you go, what you do. Good. What noises you make. And of course, we already have practice in your living room, so that's the perfect place to do it because we can go outside, knock on the door, and do things like that, which you saw that he can handle that. We're just picking this area right now to film this because it's a big open area and it's easier to film it here. Good. Notice how when I reward, I place the reward on the mat. He waits until I withdraw and he takes it off the mat and I say good. And right now I'm just practicing that basic downstay where I can walk around him either way. All the way around. He accepts me being behind him. A lot of dogs can't do that. That's the kind of stay that's kind of hard for a lot of dogs, but of course we've been practicing a lot. And then always, no matter what you do, no matter where you go, knocking on the door, whatever, always come back. Nope, make sure he really waits. Nope, doesn't touch your hand. Nope. Nope. Good, so he had a little brain freeze there and forgot how to do it. But you see how I handled it? I think 4 times I said no, I pulled back. He finally got it. He waited. I put it there. I withdrew. He took it off the mat. I said, good. So just do it like that. There's a lot of things you can do. Obviously, you can always, good. Apply a little bit of tension to the leash. You know, don't pull it hard. You don't want to hurt him. But see how solid his downstay is. Good. Whatever you practice on the mat, however good his downstay is here, will become without the mat when you practice these downs just in everyday life. So the mat is a fast track to a really solid downstay, and that's why we do it on the mat first. There's all kinds of things you can do, of course. Good. We are in a fenced yard, so I can walk farther away, way behind him like this. You can do this in your backyard as well or in your house. But never drop the leash, of course, unless you're in a secure area, fenced yard or inside. Good. If you're out in public, never let go of the leash for obvious reasons. So that's just basically how to do it. If he makes a mistake and pops up before you release him, stay calm. It's not a correction. Don't try not to be frustrated. Just stay even, calm, say no. If he just stands up and stays on the mat, just say no and ease him down like that with your left foot. I pivot on my right and just always do it that way. If he leaves the mat, let's pretend, because he's not going to make any mistakes. He's getting really good at this. Okay, I'm going to release him. Okay. Sit and go. That's the way you release him off the mat exercise. But let's pretend that he popped off the mat and I was over there. I'm going to say no. I'm just going to pick up the leash. I'm going to step into him. Do a little circle like that. Actually, stepping into him and always stepping into him so that your body kind of, in essence, you're sort of hurting him with, he's on your left and you're going left, and just reposition him on the mat, put him back. Don't say down again because you already said down once, and that first down is what he should stay down from that first command for 5 minutes if need be. So don't say down again. Just say no, reset him, put him back, go and do the thing that you did before and try to get a success out of it, come back, good, he gets a reward, and then we're going to release him again. Okay, sit, and go. And now he's free. Okay, buddy, let's go.